You've got to take the patience. Scop-a-doodle-doodle-doo.
I've often had to paint. Yes, I've had to paint to support myself. It's very grim, I know. And in the early days, I used to paint with my buddy Matt and my buddy Dan. And since painting is about as interesting as folding blankets, we used to try to do things to spice things up. And one day, we're at this job, the customer leaves, and we're painting on the side of the house where the paved driveway is. And my buddy Matt, who's about 6'6", is just holding a ladder, just perpendicular to the driveway. And Dan and I would climb up and then climb down. Complete nonsense. So I go up once and I get kind of scared, and the ladder's not leaning against anything. And I'm looking down, I'm like, this is stupid. I go up like 15 feet, I come down. Dan goes up, comes down. And I walk around the side of the house. I'm like, I'm done with this. So as I'm walking around, Dan is like, I want to break my record. So he climbs up the ladder, climbs up, and he's way up there, and I'm painting around the other side, and all of a sudden I hear this, Dan, I can't hold it, get down. I run around the corner, and I see Dan at the top of the ladder. He's so high up, he looks like an angel. And the ladder is like, the top ladder is like his belly right here. And so Matt's trying to hold the ladder. He can only control it like this. And the ladder is now falling towards Dan's Firebird with glass T-tops, damn it. And so I come from the side and I'm trying to push the ladder away from his Firebird. And so now the ladder's starting to fall away from his Firebird. And we're looking at Dan, and his face was just concentration. And at the last moment, he pushes the ladder one way and then jumps the other way and then lands on the ground on the paved driveway and rolls. And like, Lee Majors himself could not have executed a better stunt. It was unreal. So Dan hits the pavement, sprawls out on his back, and he's like, oh! And Matt and I run over to him. We're like, Dan, are you okay? And he goes, don't talk to me now. And finally, Dan regains his composure, and we stand him up and we walk him over slowly to the back. I had a van at that point, and I put him into the back of the van, and I lean him up against a cooler. I put a drink in one hand, which he had no intention of drinking, and a sandwich in another hand, which he had no intention of sandwiching. And he's just sitting there like, with a sandwich in his hand, waving around. And then time goes by, and the owner comes back, and she looks in the back of the van, and she sees Dan just like hanging out with a sandwich, looking like a zombie. And she's like, is your friend all right? And we're like, yeah, he's fine. He's just late lunch. Just leave him alone. Leave him alone. And so then she goes inside, and then we sneak Drew out. And now Drew's walking on his tippy toes because his heels are so bruised. And he gets into his Firebird, and we drive back to his house. And now we have to explain what happened to Dan. And so we make up some ridiculous story how, oh yeah, Dan was up on a ladder, he got attacked by bees, and he fell off. And, it fooled his mother for this summer, and that's all we were after. And then the next job comes, and we're at the house, and it's like a week or two later, and Dan is still walking on his tippy toes because his heels are still that badly bruised. And Matt goes, what the heck are the neighbors thinking here, seeing this guy walking around on his tippy toes? And they must be thinking like, oh, how nice. They've hired a special needs boy. The end.